Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Episodic, Episode 7. I'm John F. O'Donnell here with
Andrea Allen.
Beautiful.
Thank you so. We're NPR voice today.
We are NPR boys today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Episodic,
We're
a
also
podcast about bipolar disorder and more.
we also are both drinking espresso, which is never a good sign for our state of being if we're drinking coffee after 6 p.m.
Yes, I finished mine,
Whoa.
but I was drinking it.
Cheers. This is how John and I are bad boys.
This is how we get lit up. This is how, when we go off the rails, we do a little bit of espresso post 6 p.m.
We used to
Out
get
of control.
drunk in warehouses, and now we have coffee after 6 p.m.
Yeah, but I mean, my mood has been good lately.
Yeah,
For quite a while.
Yes.
That I can do a later in the day coffee.
Whoa. Congratulations.
Somebody's a naughty little boy.
Being middle-aged, quote unquote. Are we middle-aged? I think we
you know,
are.
in my mind, I consider myself not to be until one more year.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 44. I'm
Okay.
totally middle-aged.
Sure.
But in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to last at least till 90, probably more.
I agree.
So I'm not middle-aged quite yet. Plus, I just have such a youthfulness about me. You know
You
what I mean?
do, though.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
That I have not embraced the middle-agedness. There's a very funny comedian friend of ours, Mike Leibovitz, who has all this material about how he's like, just embrace it. Just embrace the middle-agedness and then you'll be free. But I have not.
Yeah. I mean, I recently bought a pair of really supportive running shoes that are gorky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I put those bad boys on and I went, ooh, though, that support is really nice.
Ooh,
And I
that
thought,
sounds good.
I'm middle-aged.
You're getting there. You might be there.
Yeah.
I do find myself sitting down and going, oh,
Yeah.
a lot.
My back hurts
Yeah.
all the time.
I have a wonky shoulder.
I do think Dan Soder, another very funny comedian, has a bit about being middle-aged. And I can't remember the bit necessarily, but it's the same sentiment of like, I got my fucking dorky shoes on. I don't know anything about all these new cool slang words. I'm not trying to like get pussy and be cool.
I'm middle-aged.
Yeah, that's a nice...
You know, maybe it is my avoidance of embracing middle-agedness is that I am learning about new music.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know, I got like a fun little project I'm doing with a comedian friend of ours, Bailey Pope.
Love Bailey.
We're performing at this big music festival called Fest in late October, and there's comedians are going to be there too. So we're performing comedy there, and it's all these punk bands and hardcore bands and emo bands and all this stuff, all this cool music, a lot of which I'm not familiar with. But Bailey is, because she's into hardcore.
Yeah.
So we're doing this fun series where we're promoting the bands by making videos where I'm like, Bailey, I'm going to be performing comedy at Fest. I'm not familiar with any of the bands that are playing. Everybody's going to hate me. She's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, teach me hardcore.
Yeah.
So today we've been writing these scripts and shooting them in batches.
Cool.
And today we shot a few of them. We covered the bands, the Swing Kids.
Okay.
7 Seconds.
Okay.
And FYP.
I don't think I would know a single one of these. But okay, I do think to talk about like learning new music. Okay, backtrack. There's a podcaster that I used to know who had this phrase called "Sorry, you're 40," and basically, it's the best phrase to explain this phenomena. Where when people enter like our age bracket, they either like continue to engage with culture and learn new things and try to like stay plugged into the world and evolve, or they start to just dig their heels in and be like, I want to learn.
Yeah.
I know everything.
Back in my day.
I'm bitter and a bummer to be around.
Yeah.
So I think that like it's, especially since we live like a younger lifestyle, we also don't have kids. We don't like own home. We don't have like the nuclear family lifestyle that, and I love that. I don't want that.
Love that for us.
Yeah, I do. So, but I do think that like we are in the midlife, but I don't think that I would rather be learning about cool new bands and be self-aware that I'm like a little older, but still want to live a vibrant
I'm full
life.
of passion. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm having a midlife cry, sis.
I don't know if I stand behind that one.
I don't know if I stand behind that either. But I thought maybe there was something there.
Hey, we can keep spitballing. Sis is a black slang, although.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you could like throw your hip into it a little bit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did some fun videos today about those bands. And so far we've done videos about Dillinger 4.
Okay.
The Get Up Kids.
Cool.
And a few others.
Is there any particular band that you've been like, oh, I would like listen to this?
Yeah, I mean, there was some bands I was a little bit familiar with. One band called AJJ. They're like folk punk.
Oh, cool.
That I really like.
Yeah.
And they've been around for a long time. They used to go by Andrew Jackson Jihad.
Whoa, cool.
Which is a badass name.
That's a graphic tee, baby.
That's a graphic tee and a half that Johnny would wear.
Dude, you're gonna have so many good graphic tees for this fucking
into
thing.
Middle age. but everybody was just calling him AJJ, and they changed it to AJJ.
I do think niche music like jazz or punk or any number of examples is kind of like stand-up comedy. Like their communities are kind of similar in size and in like diversity of types of act, so it's like kind of a little counterculture to get into. So I like that. Sounds fun.
Yeah, no, it's so fun to like explore and learn about all of these bands.
You gotta get tattoos, dude.
I'm not getting tattoos. I feel for whatever reason, tattoos are not my cup of tea. I think they're beautiful. They're not my cup of tea. I just feel very grateful that I've never unhinged manically gotten a reckless tattoo.
Whoa.
Like I feel very lucky that I don't currently have like a full face tattoo of Bob Marley on my chest, like a chest piece of Bob Marley, just like emerging in between my pectorals. I feel very grateful for that, because I could see that having happened.
The lyric of Redemption song, just
Redemption
like going
song
down
lyrics,
your pelvis.
Going down my pelvis.
Oh.
I feel very lucky somehow, amidst all of the insanity, tattoo free.
I'm kind of shocked that didn't come into play.
That's what I say. One of these videos, I say like Bailey's like, you're not familiar with any of the bands that are playing? There's like almost 300 bands playing at this festival.
Cool.
Yeah. And I go, no, Bailey, my grandmother loved me too much growing up for me to ever get into hardcore music.
There is a link there. There's a link.
Maybe it's the same with why I didn't get tattoos.
Yeah. I don't have tattoos, which is kind of surprising considering
you're goth adjacent.
How goth I am. Yeah, goth adjacent.
Yeah.
As some young Gen Z guy said to me a few years ago, and I never let it go, retired goth.
Ooh.
Oh.
That one stings.
That's so good, though.
It is good. It stings so good.
I'm proud of you, but...
I'm proud of you, but ouch.
Or like
wacky
aunt is something that's kind of, and I'm like, you know what? Yes, I'm wearing a windbreaker and supported shoes.
Yeah.
I'm a wacky aunt.
You're a wacky aunt sliding right into middle age.
Hey, and it's all good, baby.
Yeah.
I learned something in therapy this week, or I've been discussing, we kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking about circadian rhythms and bipolar 2 and how sleep disruptions, like a tough and very present thing.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit, I think, about like trauma playing a role in like triggering bipolar disorder.
Possibility of that, absolutely, yeah.
Because I feel like we're kind of an interesting case in the differences of the disease, in that you potentially believe that like psychedelic use triggered it, or maybe it was latent and maybe that pushed the ball forward.
It's possible. I don't know for sure. I may have developed bipolar 1 disorder anyway. It may have pushed to the forefront something that may have remained latent. I don't know. I do know that it was a traumatic experience when I tripped.
I can't imagine.
It was a really bad trip, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I've only had one trip. I've only taken psychedelics one time.
Acid or mushrooms?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
You had a bad one.
Oh, I went missing in the forest for like 6 hours. Dude, I mean,
horrifying.
It was, I hear this about mushrooms, and people say this, that like it's very dependent on the people that you're with and the environment that you're in.
Absolutely.
So
all psychedelics.
Yeah, and agreed. And so I was with a group of people at a music festival, and there was one person in this festival that I have like complicated feelings towards, who I've now kind of estranged myself from, because this person just would bully me. She was my bully and my friend. It was a very like high school girl friendship dynamic,
Sure.
which, by the way, ladies, if you're still friends with your meanest girlfriend from high school, let it go. You don't have to go on the girl trip.
Yeah, that person is a vampirous monster.
Yeah, you hate each other.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to get the Instagram carousel of you guys going to the bar. You hate each other.
Separate.
Oh my God, it's so
Cut away.
It's so freeing. But I started taking the mushrooms, and then she was in a bad relationship at the time, abusive relationship, and she confided in me. They were engaged, and we all were not happy about it. This guy was bad news, and she confided in me that she didn't want to marry him because he had too many mental health issues. And I was like, I can't, like,
Yeah.
that's already like a very
She
emotional.
confided this in you while you're on mushrooms?
Yes.
What a monster.
Monster.
That's crazy.
I know, dude. That's a tenuous, very complicated dance sober.
Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, fuck. And from that, this is the trace of my thoughts I remember. I'm also like a very anxious person who goes to the worst case scenario pretty easily. So I was like, oh, these people love each other, but yet they treat each other like shit. And then I was like, God, people are capable of such deceit and cruelty, and it's just such a part of like our makeup of how we behave.
This is where you're spinning out on
Yes.
mushrooms. So you're going that way. So you're like, you're getting insight into the human condition, but it's all like dark and deceitful.
Dude, I'm never peace and love. When it
Yeah.
comes to drugs, I'm never peace and love.
Yeah, you're not like there's a connectivity of life and we're all one and it's beautiful. You're like, we're all the most deceitful, twisted
Yes.
characters.
Snakes in a pit.
Snakes in a pit, backbiting each other for position.
And we are connected, but it's through our evil webs that we fucking. I mean, it was clearly also the dynamic between her and I was playing out.
Yeah.
Probably, underneath in a unconscious way. But then I went even further and I started thinking about the Holocaust.
No.
And it was so bad. It was so bad. And I was just like trying to like run through it was at this music festival called Shambhala, which is in my home province, British Columbia. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like music festival in the woods of British Columbia.
Oh, it's a festival in the woods.
In the woods.
What kind of music?
All different types. I bet you there was folk punk. Reggie Watts was playing the trumpet. Like I was like,
Really?
This was so cool. Very cool festival. It's kind of become lame now, as all festivals have, but like if you're in your right mind and just having a fun time, like what an incredible experience.
So you're in nature.
I'm in nature, but I'm running around and it's dark and it's a forest. And if you get lost in those forests, like they have teams, put together to find people in case this happens. So I don't know how I got spun out, but I was like deep in the forest.
Did you have to get found by the people?
Yes, I got found by the
No.
people. Yeah. Because my friends were like, she's been gone for hours. Where the fuck is she?
So you wandered off on your own,
Holocausting out.
spinning out, thinking about the Holocaust while on mushrooms.
Yes.
Lost in the woods.
Yes.
At the festival.
Yes.
And the search and rescue squad
Found me.
found you.
Yeah. And I was all tweaked out.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be like the chiller.
Ugh. And
thing.
everyone's always like, I'm microdosing. I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah, you're insane.
You're fucking nuts, dude.
You're taking your own life into your hands every morning.
You're going to be in a fetal position under a bunch of pine trees, and it gets cold, it gets dark. I'm sure I wasn't in like mortal danger, really. They would have found me, but like it was very traumatic.
You never told me about this.
Yeah.
So then what happened? They found you.
They found me, and then I was like returned back to this group of girls. I think they had called people to find me, which is good. Like these people, they're not. This group of people were very important to me for a period of life, and for the most part, they're wonderful people. I have,
Sure. They're not so reckless as to let you die alone in the
They
woods.
would not. They never would. But so they called the people, and they were looking for me, and they found me, and then we all hung out and it was really fun for a lot of it. But that relationship with that person continued to be a problem for me, and I ended up separating from the group because of it, which was sad. But ultimately the right decision. But people with their fucking casual attitude towards drugs, I don't get insane to me.
It's insane to me, and I'm a little jelly, if I'm going to be
honest.
honest.
I am a little jelly, yeah.
Little jelly that they can just get fucking lit and trip and have fun and get enlightened and squeegee their third eye clean and be like, I learned this. I went into the great beyond and I took this back and now I know.
But do they know?
No, because then in a few months they're just doing the same shit they've always done, and they have to do it again and again and again. So now you just told your story. You just told your story of mushrooms? Did I tell you my story the first time I did acid?
The Fish concert, right? I don't know you've talked about it though. You've alluded to it.
I've alluded to it. I don't think we've talked about specifics.
Tell me.
Okay, so I was in high school, and somehow convinced my parents to let me go with a couple of quote unquote friends to a Fish concert on a weekday, a school weekday.
The 90s were a different time.
Yeah. The 90s were different.
Yeah.
At Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
So I go with these kids who were kind of my friends, but were always really mean to me, but only would hang out with me sometimes. But I, in high school, kind of desperately wanted approval, which was like a really
been there, sister.
Yeah, bad place to be in. So I remember I'm with these two people. We drive into the city. We're smoking joints in the car, getting there. We smoke when we get into the venue. I have such a just such a small tolerance for weed that I'm immediately burnt.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm just burnt, in my head, totally fried.
I forgot about that feeling.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because you can get baked, man.
Totally.
And
that's awesome.
And that's awesome. Or you can get burnt.
Ugh,
and that sucks. You can get stoned.
Totally, dude.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So I'm stoned, just sitting down in my chair. Everybody's dancing and doing stuff. I'm just done.
Yeah.
Fried. And one of the guys I'm with is like, oh man, you need some energy. You should do some acid. I was like, okay, I'll do some acid.
Yeah.
So he gives me a tab. I drop the tab. Concert continues. I guess I start getting a little bit more energy, but I don't start tripping really until we're in the car on the way home.
Oh no.
Which is such a terrible experience and terrible situation to be in.
You couldn't even really dive into Fish tripping balls?
No.
That stinks.
This is how crazy Fish is. At the end of that show, I remember what they did was they started playing their instruments as loud and as high pitch as they possibly could, and turned all of the lights on to kind of almost shock everybody out of whatever drug-induced sort of thing they were in.
Yeah,
or something.
they know their audience.
You know what I mean? So they did something crazy like that, and we're like, ah! And I'm like, what's happening?
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then I'm in the car, I start tripping, and I'm freaking out. I still remember this. When I really started tripping, I just let out this maniacal laugh.
Whoa.
I was just like, ha ha. You know what I mean? Some sort of crazy, and I felt like my mind was being ripped through these doors of thresholds of consciousness.
Oh my God.
And it was really freaked. I was really and I was just laughing maniacally. It was freaking me out. It was my brain was being ripped apart.
And they're like, John's kind of a weird hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they were more oh, John's in a really vulnerable state right now. Let's mess with him.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Total.
I hate those people.
I hate those people.
That's evil. That's what I'm saying.
It's straight up psychological abuse.
Yeah.
It's abusive.
People are snakes, John.
Oh,
People are snakes.
And they're just wrapped around each other.
Don't you
they're
fucking
backbiting.
Don't
they're
you
all
ever
connected,
forget it.
But only to undermine each other.
Oh yeah,
so
I
they
live in
can
a place
jockey
of
for position.
fear. I live in fear. I'm always on the defense.
Well, I was like seeing these people morphing into kind of demonic figures and stuff like that, and they were like playing into it.
That's horrible.
You know what I
That's
mean?
horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Now, the only solace I can give them is like, okay, we're all dumbasses in high school. They were just kids, you know?
Kids are fucked up though.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was just like, and like the kid that I have in mind who was being particularly vicious, he had a rough go of it. His father had recently passed away. He like watched his father die of a heart attack in his arms as a kid.
God.
You know?
Yeah.
So he was damaged.
Hurt
and,
people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. Well, this hurt person was hurting this guy.
Yeah.
So then I couldn't fall asleep all night. I ended up sleeping over at this guy's house.
Okay.
The next morning, we go to school. I get a ride to school from his mom. His mom seemed like she had some sort of substance abuse issues because she was like barely got it together to get us to school, you know, and she was kind of driving a little weird. It was like crazy. And I get to school and I don't have my backpack or books or a pencil, nothing.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm still tripping.
Whoa.
I'm still spun out. I'm still totally
Fuck,
just
this
like,
is so scary.
yeah, I'm totally freaked out. I asked my friend, my other friend there, he was there, my friend Lee. I was like, Lee, I was like, give me a piece of paper and a pencil.
Oh.
Just so I had something to like hold, you
yeah.
know? And I somehow just like made it through the day without getting like sent to like the office or to like the doctor or something. Yeah. I made it through the day. I don't remember most of that day, but I do remember that experience was so traumatic that I really believed after that. I was like, oh, I lost my soul.
Yeah, you have mentioned this.
Yeah.
That is heinous.
And then I thought for like 2 years that I didn't have a soul.
Oh my God.
It's so funny.
Don't do drugs. Dare was right. Yeah. In an old man way, I'm going to say Dare was right, and Marilyn Manson was a predator, and they were right about that one too.
Yeah.
Sometimes conservatives are right about a little bit of something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe LSD is fun for some folks, but then this is how crazy I am. I was like, how come all my other friends are enjoying LSD and weed? I'm just going to keep doing it.
Oh, my God, John.
And then I had bad experiences a few more times after that. Yeah.
The desire to be accepted as a young person is so strong.
Oh, it's huge.
And it's so dangerous. The amount of shit I did to try to be cool is humiliating.
Oh, it's awful. And you can't see beyond that world. You think that's it forever.
Yeah,
yeah. And then you come to realize it's so fleeting. It's so nothing. It's like, it's
but you
absurd.
Can't tell them. You can't tell kids that because they need to grow out of it. But it's a bummer. But the grabbing of the pen and paper, it like reminds me of, you know, in Inception when they spin the dice or spin like a dreidel or whatever to like know if they're in a dream or not. Like I feel like that was like your Inception to be like, this is my talisman that keeps me tethered to reality.
This pencil.
Yeah.
I just remember that whole night when and when we were driving, they went the wrong way. So instead of going back towards Jersey, they went like further into New York.
Oh no!
Yeah, so there was all directions issues, and I mean they're stoned out of their minds. We're all kids. This is reckless.
Was this MapQuest time?
I don't even know. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if there's any young people listening to the show, when you needed to go somewhere back in the day, when there was the internet, because first it was actual maps or like knowing where things were, which is completely by the wayside now.
Sure.
You'd go on mapquest.com and you would
print out the directions.
Plug it in, print out the directions.
Yeah, and then go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, this was probably in like 97 or 98.
Yeah.
It was the year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's not like it has affected me or stuck with me for the past 30 years.
That's
Yeah.
another thing about kids and their desire to be cool is that they can make these decisions that have huge impacts on their lives.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to be like, I would never want to be a parent. God, again, like
Yeah.
just sending people out into the world being like, don't fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Don't get someone pregnant.
Yeah. And so that was my first terrible acid trip. And, you know, it was all fine because what? How many years later did I end up in the psych ward? You know what I mean? Like only a few.
Yeah.
No big deal. Let's see. I tripped in 97 or 98. Was in the psych ward in Ireland in 2003. Now, I'm not going to say one of these people that says, like, you can't do psychedelics.
I'm going to say one of these people. Don't do psychedelics. Don't do if you have...
Oh, absolutely. If you have...
That's what I'm saying.
Any sort of history of a predisposition or a predilection towards a mood disorder or mental illness of any situation in your family, you know, just... Really, you have to be super, super cautious, and I would suggest avoiding it.
I agree. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, you mentally ill kids.
Yeah. Wear supportive shoes and have a glass of coffee or tea.
Yes. And learn about new punk bands in order to stay relevant.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you got to do. Well, I want to talk about the psych wards. I just do want to finish this thought, and then we'll move on to that about talking to my therapist. And I'm also reading a book right now about language. And so these two things kind of came in conjunction. And we were discussing the amygdala.
The amygdala.
Amygdala.
Part of the brain.
I barely know her.
That rolled right
Stretch.
off. Rolled right off.
Stretch. Big stretch. But basically, the amygdala is a part of the brain, and as you mentioned off mic, it's like one of the older parts of our brain.
The lizard brain.
The lizard, the old Liz. I barely know her. And
you just saved it.
I know.
That's
Now
amazing. You're
back.
so good.
I'm so back, baby.
You're so good.
But it's responsible for a lot of it connecting to other parts of the brain for emotional processing. And in bipolar people, and I could be talking out of turn, but based off of what I understand, there's some dysfunction in the amygdala in terms of how much it's communicating. It's connected to parts of the brain. So when you're manic, it's firing more often, and when you're depressed, less so, is what I'm understanding. So a healthy, neurotypical person, the amygdala is a lot more regulated in its function. But another layer to this is that they have been studying the effects trauma affecting the amygdala, especially in children, like because your brain is developing and trauma can negatively affect the development of your brain. And so it kind of harkens back to like I had a great deal of trauma in my childhood, both with like one of my abusive parents and also just with my parents' medical problems. And I think there's a pretty good chance that that might have been the bullet in the chamber. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there was a predisposition, and then I think that prolonged trauma might have been partially responsible for that, It's not a complete impossibility. And they've done studies on the brains of people who are exposed to, like, domestic violence and that kind of stuff, or, like, genocide. There's, like, much more serious, significant traumas, and it does affect their brain. It does damage to their brains. And like we know that trauma affects even down to like the genetic makeup of people.
Sure.
Like,
generationally. Even.
Yeah. You think about the Holocaust, then you think about what's happening in Gaza now. It feels like this endless fucking cycle.
Absolutely.
And it's just a snake. It's just a pit of snakes biting its own tail, dude.
Whoa. I mean,
something to think about.
It's hard to know. I mean, it is quite possible that traumas that you had to endure and deal with growing up may have exacerbated or brought to the forefront bipolar diagnosis that may or may not have happened otherwise. It's hard to know.
It's impossible to know.
What I say about the acid, I go, it certainly didn't help.
Sure. Yeah.
It certainly didn't help anything.
It was in a warm, fuzzy environment for you to.
But it is like, I mean, but sadly, who gets through unscathed?
Agreed. Yeah.
Life is tough. We have to deal with a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and a lot of uncertainty.
It's kind of the whole thing, man.
Kind of the whole deal.
See, we know how it is, man. We don't have to know psychedelics to know that pain is an inevitability, and in order to be enlightened, you must whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So, to quote the Flaming Lips.
There you go.
One day, everyone
will die. God.
So instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good times last. You realize. All right, we did it. That was pretty good. Great song. Do You Realize by Flaming Lips is a beautiful one.
Yeah, it really helps you contend with the scariness of everything.
Yeah, it does. Do you want to know something really corny?
Sure.
One time, years ago, you know how like on Facebook everybody wished you happy birthday?
Oh, yeah.
That used to be a thing.
Ooh.
That was delightful.
Big moment.
Big moment. You get all those birthday
your
comments.
Wall.
Your wall is covered in happy birthdays.
Yeah.
One year, at the kind of like at the height of that, I was reading through them, listening to Flaming Lips, Do You Realize?
Beautiful.
On repeat.
Oh, crying a little bit.
Just like happy. Just like, look at all of these people in my life that I know that care about me.
Yeah.
So that was kind of something. I think I told one person about that. They're like, oh, that's kind of weird. I was like,
fuck that, it's beautiful.
Kind of beautiful.
I mean, something you also realize in middle age is like
I'm not embracing this middle age.
Sorry, you won't embrace
I'm middle age cusping.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Same, dude.
Yeah.
Age is just a number, dude.
Yeah.
But I do think as you age, you do understand like the quality of people and then the relationships you have in your life are really like what makes it, There's other things, but if you don't have people in your core who love you, it's can be very tough,
Absolutely. I think that having quality people, being lucky enough to have quality people around you and being connected to some community that's positive is pretty much what it's about.
Everything is everything, dude.
Everything is everything.
Yeah.
But being tapped into a community is great because a lot of other things are fleeting. There's a lot of things that are outside of your control. I mean, like we've talked about before, it's like there's career successes that you can achieve and things like that, and that
stability.
There's stability. Those things are important, but they can be fleeting. And if you are just trying to find happiness through career success, it's just never going to be there. But community is real.
It is.
Do
you know what my Do You Realize is?
What?
Bill Hicks, It's Just a Ride.
Oh, yeah.
So, dear listener, if you're not familiar with the comedian Bill Hicks, which John and I am sure were doing an impersonation of Bill Hicks at some point in our career. I certainly was in the beginning of my
my whole first year of stand-up, I just wanted to be Bill Hicks. I was trying to pull off this like hard-hitting, truth-telling political comedy.
Yeah.
And I was failing miserably.
Philosopher.
The dark philosopher.
Yeah. Bill Hicks also had a bunch of really silly comedy. I think like any major figure in an art form, it gets co-opted, and I'm sure Bill Hicks probably would hate some of the people who call him a hero. Yeah.
Sure, of course.
But Bill Hicks has a bit. I don't even know if I would call it a bit. I think I would call it like a piece of philosophy, right?
Yeah. It's just it was basically just a very eloquent, poetic way that he ended one of his specials.
Yeah,
he would end his sets with just sort of this kind of beautiful eloquation about his sort of take on life, which unless you're really, really, really funny before that, you don't really earn doing that.
100%.
But he's so funny and insightful and such a great social commentarian.
Yeah.
That he does really earn this sort of beautiful thing he says at the end.
Oh, yeah, it was a special. I don't know if he was knowingly dying at that time.
I'm not sure.
Bill Hicks died of lung cancer.
Pancreatic cancer.
Oh, pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was like 32, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But he was a smoker. I think he kind of, maybe that was connected. Doesn't matter. But he died young, as only the good die young.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he knew he was dying at that point, but he recorded an album in the UK. And the end bit, It's Just a Ride, is this like long philosophical take on how life is just a ride and like things aren't real, so you don't have to be scared. And you know, there was like choose love. It had all of that in there, but it was so like eloquent and calming.
Yeah, when he's just like, it's just a ride.
Yeah, and that seems so simple, but like it really is. When I'm having my most anxious times, I listen to that bit to calm me down.
Yeah.
And I played it for my dad before he passed. Like I gave it to my aunt and was like, play this for my dad, because he was, you know, we had a conversation one of the last times I saw him in a hospital, and he said, I'm scared. And I was like, yeah. This is the final, this is really scary. And I was like, maybe this piece of art will help him through that fear. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's just a ride, man.
Yeah.
It's if you're a person who is constantly fearful of death and loss and grief, and if you've had that dog piled on you, with some people more so than others,
sure.
Check out Bill Hicks. It's just a ride, dude.
Yeah, look. I bet you can just find a clip of it.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. Yeah, that's great.
Rip on a cig and really get comfy with Bill.
Yeah. You know what? I put on my Joan Rivers t-shirt today,
Yeah.
but I have a Bill Hicks t-shirt. I almost wore it today.
I finally succumbed to my cringe and bought a Bill Hicks t-shirt
Hey, you know
a year
what?
ago.
I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to wear a Bill Hicks t-shirt.
Why
can't I wear a Bill Hicks t-shirt? Why can't I wear a Bill Hicks t-shirt if I want to wear a Bill Hicks t-shirt? Life's too short.
New comedians probably don't even know who Bill Hicks is.
Oh, that's so sad. I don't want to think about that. That's so sad.
I was working at one of my favorite comedy clubs, Flophouse. If you live in New York City or want to visit New York City, Flophouse is a great comedy club. Indie, smaller venue, really great comics. And I put on the Bill Hicks shirt, and I was like, I'm going to the comedy club with someone say something. I dare you. I've earned it.
Did anybody say anything?
My friend Maudie Litwack was like, oh, we're wearing the Bill Hicks t-shirt. I was like, yeah, I'm wearing the Bill Hicks t-shirt. What?
Yeah. Whatever. You don't think I want to wear a Mitch Hedberg t-shirt? Oh, so bad. I'm going to
Set
get
yourself free, John.
I feel like I could wear one and no one would give me shit.
I think you and I are crotchety alt dogs.
We're salty enough.
Who've earned it, I think.
I could wear a cool Mitch Hedberg t-shirt and no one's going to give me the business about it.
They better not.
They better not.
You better not try to give me the business.
About my t-shirts that I like to wear.
The Joan Rivers t-shirt, love it. Can we talk?
Can we talk?
Incredible comedian.
Yeah. I saw her live.
Did you?
Yeah, I met her. I'm friends with her niece, Caroline, took me to see her at the Cutting Room. She crushed.
Oh, that's a small venue too. Oh my God.
She crushed. And then and this was the older location of it in Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went backstage afterwards and said hi to her, and she gave me a hug.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
she's an inspo of mine. A fashion-forward woman with kind of a brassy attitude. Don't mind if I do.
Not too much of a stretch for Miss Andrea.
But there's an episode of Louis, Problematic King, with Joan Rivers in it. I don't know if you remember this episode.
I do.
And Joan does this speech to him about how like he should be grateful for what he has and that we're so privileged to do comedy. She does this long speech about like what comedy means to her, and it's like beautiful. It's a beautiful speech. And I was like, that's perfect.
That's the perspective to try to maintain. Trust me, easier said than done.
Of course.
I try to maintain that perspective. I slip on it all the time.
Of course.
Constantly. So it's like I try to maintain that perspective, that it's just like such a privilege to get to pursue something you love with your life.
Yeah.
And to get to do it and to like and to get get to be good at it.
Yeah.
It's just such a blessing. And then so I struggle with that and I slip on that. And then you look at the state of the world and how crazy it is relative to the struggles of trying to make it in a difficult career, and then how ridiculous that feels relative to real issues. So that's my constant struggle.
Yeah. Same.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a constant swirl.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do my righteous entitlement issues overcome my common sense about the state of the world? Maybe they do.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know which way to zig or zag.
Maybe they do. I don't know which way to zig or zag either.
Yeah. She goes, it's a calling. And I'm like, it is a calling.
Oh, it is a calling.
And it's going to kill me.
And it's going to take me out.
All right, well, let's get into the psych ward a little bit.
Let's just get into the psych ward.
It feels like a good a time as ever.
Yeah.
I've never had a grippy socks vacation, but boy, do I think about it. Especially in our current times. Like, God, send me out to
sounds so nice.
Send me out to pasture.
Yeah.
But
Send me out to pasture.
but
yeah.
I know from you and many of my loved ones who have been in the Bin de Lune that
Looney bin.
they're tough. A lot of them not conducive to healing, but you were, you've punched your card at a bunch of different ones. And,
I have.
You have different experiences.
Yeah. So the first episode that I had, the first manic episode I had in 2000, like the fall of 2000 and 2001, I did not end up getting hospitalized from that one.
Okay.
Then I end up 2003. I'm in Ireland. Manic out of my gourd. I'm not going to go into all that stuff. That's like a tale for another time because this was my first time manic in Ireland. I haven't talked about that. I'll talk about that another time. But I will say that I ended up getting hospitalized there.
Yeah.
So the first time I was ever in a psychiatric hospital was in Dublin, Ireland in 2003. There's drugs that can trigger bipolar, trauma, and then in your case, Ireland. Yeah. In my case, an Irish American with a glorification of the motherland that is so strong, it induces psychosis.
Sinn Féin induced psychosis.
Yeah. A romanticization of Sinn Féin that is so glorious, it induces insanity.
Yeah.
Romanticization?
Romanticizing?
Romanticizing. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So I'm in St. Patrick's Psychiatric Hospital.
Okay.
In Dublin, Ireland.
Is that in the city? Like city proper?
Yeah, it's in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in this hospital and it is like, okay, unfortunately for me, all of the times that I've been in psych wards in America, they've always been public hospitals. I've never gotten to go to a private hospital. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sure the facilities are better. Obviously, there's more money there, right? But my family was able to get me. They were so scared what was going on. I was in Ireland. They were able to get me into a private facility in Dublin. So I remember I was either gonna end up at like St. James Hospital, which was like a public hospital in Dublin, I believe, that apparently was kind of dodgy.
Ooh.
Or a little scary.
Bit dodgy.
And I instead ended up in St. Patrick's Psychiatric Hospital. And this hands down was the best psych ward I've ever been in my life.
America sucks, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, America does have its issues, to put it lightly. But who knows? Maybe some of these private facilities are nice. I bet they are. But
yeah, sure.
But anyway, St. Patrick's Hospital, it was like they had so much outdoor space.
Oh.
Which is such a rarity. Like so many of these hospitals, especially in New York City, they don't have outdoor space. So you're cooped up.
Yeah. You
can't get any fresh air. You're trying to get well. You can't connect with the outside world, with nature at all. Mm-hmm. It's really, that's an awful aspect of it.
Yeah.
But St. Pat's was like this beautiful kind of tall brick structure. You go inside. At the time, you could smoke cigarettes inside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, send me there now, dude. Let's take a little vacation to St. Pat's.
Oh, St. Pat's was delightful. You could smoke cigarettes in there. The food was good. They had a pottery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This sounds like how I want to live out my remaining days.
Right? They had a little they had a couple holes of miniature golf outside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they had like all these paths you can walk around the grounds, rather not paths, but you could walk around the grounds of the hospital. And they had this thing where as you were getting better or kind of like coming down from being manic or whatever, you would get changed from like one part of the hospital to another part where you'd have more sort of freedoms and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, and I remember I was smoking the Dublin cigarette is called Johnny Player Blue.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I was smoking Johnny Player Blues, and this is really sweet thing. My uncle came over from America to Ireland to like spend every day with me in the hospital for like a month.
Wow.
Yeah, my Uncle Patrick, really sweet. Like so much love.
Yeah.
And we had this card game that we would always play with the family called Pitch. And we taught the people in the hospital, the other patients, to play Pitch. So we're all smoking Johnny Walker Blues, drinking tea, or Johnny Player Blues, drinking tea and playing Pitch.
Yeah.
This card game.
Oh my God.
And it was just cool. And oftentimes when I'm in the psych ward, I'll be coming down from being manic. So I'll have all of this kind of positive energy while a number of people are depressed. And that can sometimes have the effect of me being this really kind of positive force in the hospital.
Are you the most popular girl in the psych ward?
Yeah. Many times I've been the most popular girl in the psych ward.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's definitely been the case.
I mean, why not?
And I remember specifically at St. Patrick's Psychiatric Hospital that there was this one younger kid. He's maybe 17, 18. Andrew was his name. Like long red hair, big red beard, comatose. He tried to take his own life, and he was bandaged up. Comatose. And I would start just kind of hanging out with him, talking with him. And his mother was like, you really helped him start this process of kind of re-engaging with people. And it was so funny because he would just make all of these like fresh fruit like appear out of nowhere. He kept having all these good food and stuff like that.
Mythical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day he just showed up and he had like a mango. It was amazing. You know?
What were the doctors like in this facility?
Well, I was still so much like not wanting to be medication compliant at this time. But I remember I think his name was Dr. Farron. I remember him being like concerned and and like kind. And I remember the staff being kind, not feeling like they were burnt out and overworked.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because if you want to do like a compare and contrast, years later, like in 2008, when I was in Elmhurst State Hospital,
brother,
in Queens, New York.
No open fields in that fucking facility.
Dude, no way. You were cooped in.
Yeah.
That was so rough and so not conducive to getting well at all. For some reason, like all of the people that worked on the ward were just like yelling all the time. I mentioned this in another episode, but it was like, it was really weird that this particular floor was a number of like Asian ladies who had immigrated to America, so English was not their first language, which of course is fine.
Yeah.
But they were just like screaming at us in broken English, which is stressful.
Asian ladies who've had enough.
Yeah. They were over it.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, and I get it. It has got to be the hardest job ever. And there's a lot of really, unwell, obviously, people that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, my experience there, it was just awful.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable, like everything, down to like the sleeping accommodations, the food was terrible. It was just like a really messed up experience.
Yeah. A friend of ours, Lizzie Cassidy, comedian, very funny. She went into detox during COVID because she was going through alcohol withdrawal. She's in the throes of addiction, as many people were during that time period. And, so she checked herself in. Great. So happy. So proud she did that. But the detox ward, she was like, they hate you in there. Like she was like, it seems that the people that work there like hate addicts, but because they're burnt out and all this stuff, like, you know, all the grace extended to how fucking difficult that is. But she was also in a public hospital, and she was just like, you know, like, I think they like strip you down, and then, you know, you can't have anything that, you know, you could hurt yourself with, which makes sense, but just they're so rigorous and like just they just a lot of them seem to like really hate mentally ill people, and it's like maybe a different field then, dude.
Yeah, I think maybe people start off in one way, they get burnt out. That's the thing. It's like some of these hospitals, there's been other hospitals that I've been at that have been, the resources have been low. There's not enough money, that everything is kind of old, but they're still trying. They're trying their best. Everybody's trying their best with what we have to work with. But sometimes, clearly, there's employees that are just over it. And if that's the situation, I think it's like, hey, maybe it's time to move on, because you're making an already difficult situation even worse.
Yeah, there's also bad actors that get involved in like elder care, and, you know, there can be people that are abusive to mentally ill people who those are difficult jobs. Not a lot of people want to take those jobs, and sometimes some real bad actors get involved, you know?
I guess maybe you're right. That's horrifying to think
about.
Yeah,
the elder abuse and stuff.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't know about someone getting a job in a psych ER to just like abuse the mentally
totally.
ill.
No. That'd be crazy. But
that's what I was like. I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, Andrew, but I certainly hope not.
I hope not too. I guess more so like people who met. But I think sort of what you're saying, where they chose this career and then they get burned out and worn down. They start to resent the patients, you know.
Sure,
it's, you know, it's yeah.
So let me see if I can Rolodex in my mind as many psych ward experiences as I can recall.
Pull out your dossier.
Let's see. I maybe should have made notes ahead of time about all of my psych ward appearances.
I mean, soon mine will be coming, so.
Yeah, I can give you the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Which ones to go to, which ones to avoid. Collect them all.
Yeah.
All right, so the first time was St. Patrick. The first time I was in the psych ward was St. Patrick's Psychiatric Hospital in Dublin, Ireland, 2003. Mm-hmm. That was the GOAT.
Yep.
That was the best experience.
You blew your load early, dude.
Super early.
Yeah.
Then next time was 2008, was Elmhurst State Hospital. Super rough.
Yeah.
Very rough. Then I ended up in the hospital in Denver.
Oh,
yeah, for like 4 days when I was doing shows out there. I remember that hospital being, I was just there for I think I was only there for 4 days.
Who got you in there?
Like comics and stuff, but I was there. That's a whole other story. We'll talk about Denver another time.
Yeah.
But, and my mother flew out from Jersey to Denver, which was very sweet of her. But to kind of help take care of me. And then, so I was in the hospital in Denver. Then I was in the hospital a couple times in Jersey. They were all just kind of mid.
Yeah. See?
A lot
Still
of them,
young.
A lot of it, what?
Still young.
Yeah, I'm using mid.
Yeah.
They sort of just blended. A couple Jersey ones blend. Then New York. I was in NYU Langone psychiatric wing. That was not bad. I remember they gave me some nice these kind of good slippers. They gave me some good slippers.
And you still wear them to this day?
I still wear them to this day.
You got the slippers on, you're smoking the Irish cigarettes.
Yeah.
You're talking to Bill Hicks, who wasn't there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Bill.
It's just a ride.
It's just a ride, dude.
So then I was that was Denver, New Jersey, a few times in New York, then a few different ones in DC, one of which in DC had really good food. Then last time, hopefully the last time I'm done with this shit, was a place called Gracie Square in New York, and that one was like they didn't have much resources, but they did have iPads underneath glass that you could like scroll the internet with.
Go on MapQuest.
Yeah, go on MapQuest.
What?
Figure some stuff out.
Can I ask you a question about intake in psych wards?
Sure.
Because I know that, like, especially if you're coming in there and you're fully manic and you're like, don't believe that you're sick or you're so spun out that you can't be in a lucid state of mind. Once you're being intaked, like, are you like arguing with them or have you just kind of resigned? Like, how do you communicate with them? How do they communicate with you? Like, how does that process go down? And I know it's different for different ones, but
Sure.
like generally speaking.
I think that it depends on what my mindset is like, how manic I am.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's been situations where I've been really sort of like yelling and resistant, and then, I'll be given like an involuntary shot of a sedative.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Scary.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll knock me out, and then I'll be medicated, and then hopefully medicated properly to the point where I start to come down from being manic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's...
So
yeah.
you've done one of those scenes where like, fuck you, motherfuckers, suck my dick. And then they get you in the neck with a blow dart.
I think it's more like in the ass, but yeah.
They get you right in the cheek.
It's not the cheek. It's more like the thigh.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember, I don't completely remember everything surrounding it because I was in such a spun out state and then I was sedated.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely been experiences like that. Yeah.
Wow. Scary.
Definitely scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Psych ward, do not recommend.
Do you have friends that you've made? Are there people that you've met along the way that you like were like, oh, that was a memorable, like there's like the guy who's comatose. Are there any people that you were friends with that you like still communicate with to this day or held a relationship with them?
There's nobody that, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, there was one person that I maintained a friendship with for a while, and then then we just sort of went our own ways, but not because anything bad happened. And if we reached out to each other now, it'd be fine. But outside of that, I think oftentimes you can connect with somebody in the psych ward, but then when you get out and get back to your regular life, it's weird to double back with them because it kind of brings you right back to that place.
Yeah.
And I should have said that with I statements. For me, I feel like if I've really connected with someone in the psych ward, when I then am out of it, I'm back in my normal life around my community of people, it can be hard for me to connect with that person.
Yeah.
Because it brings me back to that weird place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know?
Do you feel shame around being in psych wards? I feel like a lot of people express that they feel shame towards like admitting or discussing. I mean, I know like both of us wholeheartedly promote like trying to destigmatize and remove shame. Shame is a damaging and not productive emotion, but I imagine that there is that feeling. I'd hope not, but how do you feel about it?
That's a great question. I think that if I didn't figure out artistically how to express it, how to talk about it creatively through comedy, to kind of really get it out there publicly and process it in that way and get people to laugh with me about it, that has allowed me to that's been an more important than it seems like it should be tool for me to not be ashamed about it.
There's comedy school at the psych ward, fucking teaching a comedy class.
Yeah.
And people are funnier than any comedian alive, but
no
for the
doubt.
wrong reasons.
Yeah. From the wrong perspective.
Comedy's kind of a psych ward in its own way.
Yeah. No, but it's a good question. If I'm going to be really honest with myself, in this very moment, this day, I do not feel ashamed for having been institutionalized.
It's great.
I don't feel ashamed for having been in the psych ward. And I got some, some good bits out of it.
Yeah, it's worth it for the bit, baby.
It's all for the bits.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I know so many people who have been in psych wards, and I openly discuss my mental health. But even I, who has never been put in a psych ward, I even still feel a little shamey around my mental health issues. And I think mostly also a big chunk of it for me is that growing up with a narcissistic parent, narcissists need to lie all the time to like make their reality true, like because they're manipulators and they perform bad actions, they have to gaslight you into believing that you're wrong and what they're doing is fine. And like, you see it with like Trump famously, where it's like
Sure.
bold-faced lying, which makes people feel crazy. When someone you see them do one thing and they're like, no, I didn't. You're like, am I fucking crazy?
Yeah, gaslighting is the worst.
And so both me and my brother have mental health issues, probably partially as a result of being exposed to this type of emotional abuse over a prolonged period of time. But abusers have to call you crazy. They have to rely on making their victims feel crazy to keep them to keep this game of 3-card Monty going, That's why it's so important to have boundaries with emotionally abusive people or physically abusive people, because then you have time to like rebuild your reality and grow the fortitude and strength to be like, I'm not crazy. That's crazy behavior. I cannot engage with that behavior because then my temple of calmness and relief is going to get disrupted by this person. But my dad used to always say, like, don't put on a show was one of his favorite things. When I would be like upset or, he would do something shitty and I would have a reaction to it, he would say, don't put on a show. And it was this really like, oh, you're being crazy. Like he was always leveraging that, like, you're crazy. And everyone around him was crazy and he was not. And it was so crazy making.
Sure, because it's like your genuine emotional response to something is being used against you.
Yes.
As you're putting on a show.
Yes.
That is messed up.
Oh yeah, and he would do like very psychologically tricky things. Like I remember with my brother, he took my brother to a job interview. My brother has ADHD and he has struggled to stay employed for a lot of his life. ADHD is a very difficult condition to like consistently work and do the things that are necessary to live an adult life. It's really
Sure.
hindering. And he was not, he didn't take meds for a lot of the time, and kind of a similar situation to a lot of people where it's like he didn't have the tools to get help, but he also didn't want to admit he needed help. And, it's a pretty common story. But my dad like drove him to this job interview that he set up, and he said, what's the interviewer's name? And my brother had forgotten, but my dad knew. But instead of telling him, he just sat there in silence and was like, I'm not going to let you go in there until you tell me the name. And then so they just sat in there. And then I think he drove him home. He like would not allow him to have the interview. Like he just like, there was something about just demoralizing people that really he like couldn't stop doing it. It was like a pathology.
That's awful.
Yeah, I mean, there's countless examples of the ways that he would do this.
So because of all of this, you think you have lingering pangs of insecurity about
Being crazy.
being
Yeah.
crazy?
I'm constantly like, am I having an overreaction? Like, am I crazy? I'm scared of going crazy.
Yeah.
And, so I feel a little shame, especially since I have a diagnosable mental illness, that I'm like, fuck, he was right, I'm crazy. I'm like, no, he was abusive. You were having an understandable reaction to abuse, but it is crazy making.
Yeah, I was going to say, he is crazy making.
Yeah, he's truly crazy. I mean, even one of our we had big fight before he was beginning to die. He was in bad health, but I went to visit him with my now husband, and it was kind of like this somber, like meeting my boyfriend and spending time together, like under the auspices of like this could be potentially the end of my life, or I'm nearing the end of my life. And so we sat down, and it was me, my husband, and my dad and his wife. And then it started out with like, appetizers and, smoked salmon and small talk. And
delightful.
Yeah. And then he went like, Rita is my dad's wife's name. Rita and Dan, can you go out to the balcony? I'm going to have a conversation with my daughter. Ooh. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I was so frightened of this person. He was so ominous. He was so frightening. And then he sat down and he went, your episode of this podcast on July 16th was the worst thing. Listening to that was the worst day of my life. And then he started to detail, because I think I discussed my parents' like divorce, and there was infidelity. His infidelities are well documented, and he used to just be like, no, or like, oh, you don't want me to be happy. And I'm like, you can be happy, but you cheat on my mom and destroy our family. And he was like, your mom's crazy and this is all lies. And like, he fully was so furious about me expressing blatant reality of what had happened, and he was like, I could sue you. And I just remember,
I sue my daughter on my deathbed.
Right. I know. And I'm like, okay, you're going to have to pay the bit. I don't have money, so you can sue me and then pay the lawyer for us to do this in court.
My God.
I guess. But it was so, I remember kind of like disassociating during this conversation and looking and being like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely batshit.
Yeah.
You're threatening to sue me. My husband and your wife are out there on the balcony talking about who knows what. I've been ushered into this weird business meeting with you where you're going to call my mom nuts. I'm like, this is maybe one of the last times we talk.
That's wild.
But he was crazy.
Yes.
Or
yes.
I don't even know what to, crazy, such a shitty but had a personality disorder.
It seems like there's an undiagnosed personality disorder.
100%. And it's like when you're being abused by a person with a personality disorder, you really like holding on to reality is pretty difficult. And, it's a life's work to undo the damage of that person, because that person has to make you the abuser in the situation, or make you the bad actor.
Well, I think obviously you've put in a lot of work and you're in a good place. I mean, if you still have these pangs of insecurity and shame surrounding your mental health, I at least like to think that it's not holding you back from enjoying your life and connecting with people.
No, it feels like there's relapses of it for sure, definitely.
Sure.
And but psychological abuse has a lifelong toll, and it's a lifelong work to try to cope with it and try to heal the damages that it does.
Well, do you feel like, John's been to the psych ward a bunch of times over the years, so I'll be friends with him, but only like sorta.
No, it only applies inward to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think poorly of any people. I'm like, yes, go, please, God, go to the hospital, get treatment. That's why we have these hospitals.
As imperfect as they are, sometimes that's where someone needs to go.
Yeah, no, I have no like nasty or judgmental feeling towards other people, but when it comes to that grace extended towards myself, it's less present. My shame is not directed towards other people at all. Which is hard. It's hard to be like, can you extend that grace towards yourself, but not always,
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that can't extend the grace to themselves. They can be super supportive. this is a little bit different, but people who are super supportive of other people going to therapy, but then wouldn't dare for themselves.
I mean,
those people drive me crazy.
Enough of that.
Well, yeah. That's kind of patronizing. That's kind of different. That's kind of patronizing, ultimately. Where it's like, all right, you know what? You're so supportive of me, yet at the same time, you're going to be so reckless that you're not going to do what you have to do for your mental health. So you're going to continue to be this, this awful
bulldozer,
energy, bulldozer
yeah.
around other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they think they're coping, but to other people around them, it's very clear they aren't.
Yeah.
And it comes out somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I view mental health, any health issue or difficulty, like it's going to eke out somewhere. So you can't just shove it in a box.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough. I actually learned something interesting about trauma, is that like really trauma that's, if you could fully recall it, and be very detrimental to you. Like, I'm sure your experiences with like being sedated or that kind of thing. Sometimes the brain like tucks it for you.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, the brain's kind of incredible for that, where it's like, this is too harmful.
Yeah.
You process the feelings around it, but we don't need to like go back to the specifics of that.
Yeah.
So
Let's
I do think
repress that shit.
Yeah,
Let's
sometimes
tuck it away.
repression is like a healthy coping mechanism at times, but if you're trying to repress things all the time, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Through substance abuse, or through damaging your relationships, or like, no one's an island. This is a very male way of being, of like, I'm a solitary man, I'm a wolf on my own path.
Sure.
And I'm like, no one is.
Yeah.
It's not true.
No, it's not. And I mean, yeah, I think part of the kind of mission of this podcast is to just try to get folks to be like, look, the sooner that you try to make your mental health a thing that you think about or contribute towards helping with, the sooner that your life will open up and be this better thing.
So much better.
And myself, and I believe you, it's like, this is something we wish we did a little bit sooner.
Yes.
know?
It could open up such a nice world.
Like, I love the idea of younger folks listening to us cusping middle-agers talk about mental health and be like, look, you can get your shit together and really kick ass in this life.
These old folks know a thing or two.
We got the mental illness scars to prove it, baby.
John's been in 65 psych wards.
65 psych wards, 62 countries, whatever.
Listen to
and
him.
I'm still kicking, baby.
He's in the mix.
Yeah, I'm in the mix. Should we do some plugs?
Let's do some plugs, baby.
Do it, Andrea.
Andrea Comedy 69 across all platforms, because I'm still cool and young. And listen to the pod on all the streaming on YouTube, and then it's also, since y'all had to have it audio only, Johnny O'Donnell has put it up on his feed, so follow John's socials, all that stuff's there. I'll put it up in my bio as well, but for now, John, where can they find it?
All right. Episodic is, like Andrew was saying, it's on YouTube. It's also on all of the audio streaming places, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, etc. We did it.
You got what you wanted.
You got what you wanted.
Yeah, audio files, you old fucks.
You audiophile episodic freaks.
Yeah, I do
like
like
just
audio.
Search Episodic on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. You can find it there. You can listen to the audio. So now, do us a favor. Leave a review. Give us a star. Come on. Bump us up a little bit. You can follow me on social media at JFOD Loves You. But look, spread the word about Episodic. We're so excited about this project. Oh, also, the Episodic feed is an adaptation of my old podcast, Take Your Pill Psychopaths. There's about 60 back episodes there
great
that
pod.
you can listen to as well. Andrea's is on some of the best episodes of that as
thanks,
well.
Buddy.
So please do that.
Yeah, great pod. Love that pod. Love to guest. There's a wealth of resources there. And I think that's it. Take your pills, boys.
Peace out, Episodic listeners.
It's just a ride.